in John, you find the story at John 13. And I'll read it to you. Now before the feast of the Passover, when Jesus knew that His hour was come, that He should depart out of this world unto the Father, having loved His own which were in the world, He loved them unto the end. And supper being ended, the devil, having now put in the heart of Judas Iscariot, Simon's son, to betray Him, Jesus, knowing that the Father had given all things to His hand, and that He was come from God and went to God, He rises from supper and laid. I want you to remember that verb, laid. He laid aside His garments and took a towel and girded Himself. He's preparing Himself. And after that He poured water into a basin and began to wash the disciples' feet and to wipe them with the towel wherewith He was girded. Then cometh He to Simon Peter, and Peter saith unto Him, Lord, dost thou wash my feet? Ask Him a question. Are you going to wash my feet? And Jesus answered and said unto him, What I do thou knowest not, but thou shalt know hereafter. Peter saith unto Him, Thou shalt never wash my feet. Remember, it was the act of a servant, the low man in the house, the also rans, that did this act of washing. And Jesus answered him and said, If I wash thee not, thou hast no part. Remember that word part. We have laid, now we have part with me. Simon Peter saith unto Him, Lord, not my feet only, but also my hands and my head. So something about this part. He says, You have no part with me. When he realized that, he said, Well, here, go ahead and give me a sponge bath. And Jesus said unto him, He that is washed needeth not save to wash his feet, but is clean every whit. And ye are clean, but not all. For He knew who should betray Him. Therefore He said, Ye are not all clean. So after He had washed their feet, and He had taken their garments, and was set down again, He said unto them, Know ye what I have done to you? You call me Master and Lord, and ye say, Well, for so I am. But He wanted to know, do you know what I just did to you? Did you know what just happened? And I want to share this little story with you tonight, because I want you to know what's about to happen, and then feel the effects of it after it happens. Amen?
Amen.
Many here again have not been taught the meaning of foot washing. Tonight I just read the story of the foot washing by Jesus of His disciples. And we have often heard the importance of this act for those of us who have done this before, but we need to know that this act had multiple meanings. First, it was a matter of hygiene. If one walked around in sandals all day throughout the dusty streets of a city, his feet are going to get pretty dirty. Amen?
Amen.
And so it was an act of hospitality. The act of foot washing was very similar to what you and I would do when a guest comes over. We take their coat at the door and we hang it in the closet. It was done when someone entered a home, and so they would clean his feet. And it was usually done by the servants and was always done before a meal. Very significant. Was always done before the meal. So you washed when you entered, and if you were already in, then they washed them before you ate. I want you to take notice of this. And finally, foot washing was also a cultic act. Various groups at that time practiced washing as part of their religious beliefs. The Essenes, for example, had multiple acts of washing, multiple, for purification and cleanliness, as it was part of their worship. The question is in what context is Jesus washing the disciples' feet? We could assume it was one for hygiene, after all they are at the Passover. Amen? However, if it was only for hygiene, then we would have a problem. Because Jesus did not wash their feet when they came in the door, nor did Jesus wash their feet before the meal. The Scripture said He washed their feet after the meal. So Jesus was washing their feet. Hygiene was not the complete answer to this foot washing event that was happening. Most of the answer is not found in the act of foot washing itself, but moreover it is found in the dialogue between Peter and Jesus. That's why I use some of those words for you to remember. You see, Jesus has removed his robe, and the verb that the writer used for the removing of his robe, he said he what? Laid aside his garments. That verb laid was the same verb that was used in the Scriptures that said that Jesus laid his life down for us. That's the significance of this laying down of the robe as Christ laid his life for us. So I want to show the importance that Christ was starting to place upon this. Not salvational importance, but there are things that are important to us as a church that have nothing to do with salvation. And so, even before they get into a dialogue, Peter and Jesus, there's already a deep, significant meaning just by the writer's words of how he laid his robe down. So Jesus comes to Peter and he asks to wash his feet. Peter refuses. And when he refuses Jesus to be a servant to him, Jesus' answer to Peter is very, very critical. You see, Jesus' washing of Peter's feet is necessary. It is necessary for him to share something with Jesus. Jesus said, what was the word I gave you? You have no part with me. That word part is very, very interchangeable with the word share. So he's saying, if you don't let me do this, then we don't share certain things. And so by participating fully in Jesus' life, he had to share this experience with God. You see, to have a share with Jesus actually means to have fellowship with Jesus. And to have fellowship with Jesus means that one participates fully in Jesus' life.